हरि ओम तत्सत्। ओम अस्मिन् सकलकल्याणं भाजं यत्र जायते पुरुषं तपसं नित्यं व्रजामि शरणं हरि। ओम अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शनं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पते नमः। जय श्री राम, जय जगन्नाथ महाप्रभु की जय। आज ये शुभ संध्यारे बहुत खुशी लगुच जे ए यंग दिव्यज्योति साहू महोदय ए मीडिया पाई जो दीर्घ 14 वर्ष भाया ये काम करुँच जो आमर ओडिशार बाहर जो विशेष भाव सबु क्षेत्र में आगुआ अच्छा से प्रोत्साहित करने ये प्रकार आयोजन करने दास को यही उत्सव मत निमंत्रण कर ऑर्गेनाइज को आओ दिव्यज्योति बाबू को धन्यवाद दूची। समस्त मंगल कामना करुच्ची। जय श्री राम, जय जगत, जय जगन्नाथ। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्।
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin with our round table discussion on the stage. We have Mr. Dibyajit Sahu, of course, the group editor, and the topic of this roundtable discussion is on Gen Z, India's boldest generation. And the speakers are Engineer Akshay Saxena, sir, Chief Engineer, Construction, ECOR. I would request Mr. Mohar Mishra, CTO and co-founder, Innovare Corporation, Mr. Tejashwar Parida, founder and chairman, CPGA, Mr. Khirot Chandra Sahu, Administrative Officer, Mr. Devakanta Patnaik, CEO, Fortune Infra Properties Private Limited, and Mr. Amlan Parida, Founder, HYMX. To please join us on the stage for a roundtable discussion. Welcome, sir. And definitely we are going to put some light on the boldest generation of India, that is Gen Z. So, sir, kindly carry forward the roundtable discussion that we are very interested and we all ears for this wonderful discussion about Gen Zs from all of you.
Thank you, Soma, for a wonderful description for the topic of today's theme is Gen Z, the rising state culture. In fact, what struck me a couple of days back when you thought let's put some enormous feature and substance, and that is called Gen Z, that befitting to the occasion 14th anniversary of Interview Times. Because I tell you one story. Recently one survey by Deloitte, 75% of youth, they wanted purpose over money, even value over position. So that's the power of Gen Z. They are unapologetic, they are committed, they are confident. So they are the future. If a nation has to progress, youth has a major role to play. So I'm sure that Gen Z has a role to play in the state of Odisha as well. So without wasting any further time, I bring in between us one of the most formidable engineer of our state who was served in Odisha, the Chief Engineer, East Coast Railway. You may heard words like crisis manager, crisis officer, but here is a personality who is only known as crisis engineer, because the fact there are many stalled projects in rail infra, but he the man who delivers it very generously, very effectively, comprehensively. We did that thing, whether you call it Kolahandi and Bhavanipatna railway projects, even Sundargarh, Titlagarh, doubling rail projects, he did it. As a huge round of applause for the Mr. Saxena. Please huge round of applause this man, gentleman. Sir, you are very much delighted, not just because you are the product of IIT Roorkee and Delhi University, but you have a very enormous ideas, world view. So when you ask Gen Z, what is the first reaction on Gen Z? What is happening all around us?
So, what I have been asked is what exactly is Gen Z. So, let me explain it in a very simple method. तो हमें अगर ये देखना है कि जैसे हमारा एक पुरुष या ह्यूमन एक बॉडी होती है, This human body is consisting of organs, and organs are consisting of cells, which are always getting replaced. If these cells are not replaced timely, then what will happen? The organs will become old, and slowly the body will become old and go away. So Gen Zs are the new generation,
True.
the cells which create the nation. Unless otherwise we allow these Gen Zs to enter into our systems, our nation will become old and frilled. So Gen Z is the new blood. And technically speaking, if I know, now that is a concept only, but if I go for the basics, then Gen Zs are the people who were born in between something 1997 onwards to something around 2001, 2002. So now these are the people who are at the helm of the affairs. So they have experienced a lot of innovativeness in social media, in information technology. These are the people who have experienced such crises like COVID, and they have gone through it. They have got a very different perspective towards the life. They are impatient and strong, have typical, very capable capacities which we have not seen otherwise in the history. And what is the potential? So next stage is, of course, they are the fresh blood. They are the new cells which need to be integrated and replaced. But what is their potential? It is like, if you imagine, because I am an engineer, so I will talk in terms of the language of the engineering. If you imagine Ganges, the holy Ganges, it comes down from Himalayas. If it falls directly, the volume of energy is so high because it is new. It is a fresh water. The volume of energy is so high that it will break every barrier which comes in the way. So there are two options. Either you allow that power, that surge to break and destroy, or the second option is you channelize it into the turbines so it creates constructive energy. So this is the power and strength of Gen Zs.
Wonderful. Let's come back to the politics. That's in our DNA, right? Tejas sir Purida is a unique personalities. Because in politics, what happens, you may win election, lose election, but you need to be relevant. That's a famous belief in politics. So Tejas is a kind of person who is very relevant because of his core conviction in politics. So Tejas sir, just explain me, in today's world, when money talks in politics, you know, the kind of money is infused in vote and electoral system that you know much better than anybody else. So can you explain me that youngster like you, who had a wonderful background in education, Delhi University student, proud of Odia voice. So how come you ensure the August gatherings that youngster also can adopt or also join in politics or do active politics? They can inspire the generation. Can you tell us a few words for that?
They need socialization about, their responsibility in strengthening the political ecosystem of the nation. Building a nation when we're planning for 2036 in the state, 100 years in the nation in 2047, we need to empower our human resources. And because, you run everything through better human resources. And similarly, for a beautiful democracy to run, you need best of human resources who will represent you in the policy making, be it parliament, be it assembly, be it at any level, starting from the grassroots democracy like the Panchayat Raj, three-tier Panchayat Raj system, be it a ward member, be it Sarpanch, member of Panchayat Samiti, or a block chairman, or a Jilla Parishad member. Look, now one of the biggest challenges is getting a party ticket when you do not belong to a political family. I worked in a political party for more than 1 decade, Biju Janata Dal. I was denied ticket for almost a decade. I was forced to shift to another political party. And when you see outside, you feel that, look, he changed from one political party to another. but the compulsion lies that, person like me who comes from a, common, a family where even our forefathers, even no one in my family, they're not even a sarpanch, not even a ward member. I started my political career from, as a student leader. I became Students' Union President in Delhi University. I struggled like anything. So I wanted to come back to Odisha and contribute something for my state through this policy making. But there is a big responsibility of the political parties to ensure that when you say youth representation in politics, anywhere you find young politicians, more than 70% of the young politicians, either they have family background. Their father, mother, grandfather, they all belong to, either they are MPs or MLAs or ministers. So you need to, start promoting them, the people who come from, student leadership, they have won student union election. Now you see, since last many years, I think it is almost going to be 1 decade where in Odisha we don't have a student union election. Now, the percentage of participation in student union election is only 20%. Out of 100 students, only 20 students come and cast their vote. This is how our Gen Z is participating in our democracy. I'm really bothered. But I find in great institutions, you go to DU, go to JNU, I find people like they celebrate the election. Good, people who have lot of interest in building society, they come to, student politics. They are interested to take leadership. And I'm sure there is lot of responsibility of the society, of the parents, of the political parties, everyone, to promote leadership. Now, I find the older generation, somehow, I don't blame a particular class, but I find many people, they do fear young population, young leaders. They feel that I am going to be replaced by this person if they come to my, my constituency. So they try to, they try to create obstacles so that these persons don't enter into electoral politics. So many persons like me who have been struggling to get even party ticket, I'm thankful to my party, Bharatiya Janata Party, who trusted, me, and I was given ticket and I fought election this time. But it is not only encouraging politician to contest election. Look, my party this year decided that a young person, only 45 years old, Nitin Nabin, became the party executive president, national president of Bharatiya Janata Party. This is how we are encouraging young people to come and join politics. But at the same time, we have major obstacles like finance. I find during elections, during election campaign, during, from one election to another election, during these 5 years, if, I'm just coming here from my constituency. When we roam around our constituency, for example, one assembly constituency is having almost 350 or 400 villages. Look, every day, at least we need 15-20,000 in our pocket to spend to visit different cultural programs. There is a cricket tournament in a village. They come to you, they ask for sponsorship. They ask in lakhs. Now, I am really surprised. Now, people do not expect a politician to care about the quality of education, quality of road, quality of drinking water, to raise voice on common issues. Rather, they invite us, come as a guest, pay some money, so that, we invite, because Mr. BC is there, Honorable MP Rajya Sabha, Sanatan Bhai is here. So, we can actually, he can empathize with me. We face lot of problems, so we need, either you leave politics, or even if you are not quitting politics, you are struggling, you need mentors to, promote you. we need more people to promote young politicians and ensure that good people, when you ask a metric topper, 10th class topper, or plus 2 science, plus 2 arts topper, how many of them are saying that I'm going to become a politician? I remember few years back, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the then president, came to Ravensa University. I remember he asked a question to Ravensavians, how many of you want to become good politician? Only one raised his hand. So now, how many of us, so we need good, sometimes we become drawing room criticizers. We do criticize. This is not happening in this country. But we are not promoting our son, our daughter, our brothers, our sisters to participate in electoral politics. So I'm expecting that this has to happen top to bottom, bottom to top, everywhere.
I think this is the best pitch I ever heard from a politician live.
Wonderful.
This has a potential to go live.
Yeah.
Go viral actually.
He believes in grassroots politics.
Right, I have never heard something like this. Second thing I just like to tell you, I am also Ravensavian. When I was studying there, if my friend is contesting an election, going and campaigning for them was also considered as a sin. Forget about participating in the election.
Let's come back. This is actually the face of Gen Z, I could say, the gentleman who made the world storm by his effort, Khiroz Sahu, the administrative officer. One video that made many attention and it became a scene of every other. That is, he went to one hilltop by covering 3 kilometers to provide the services to old age families. That is very rare in today's time and become a news. It is becoming global news. So what the energy you get from that? Because you're even now officers they love being in echo chamber offices. So though you made it different by very young age, you are truly face of young Gen Z. So what inspired you to do so?
First of all, the responsibility we are having is the sole reason behind the things. Whenever we are near a block where we are working as an administrative officer, the lakhs of people are coming under us. And that is our responsibility that how they are getting the benefits. Every kind of government benefits should reach to them. So it's our duty, whoever it be, whether he is residing in the village or a town or in hilly areas. It is our duty to reach there and it is our duty to provide necessary kind of benefits. When you consider that thing, people are coming from that place that is around 45 to 50 kilometers away from the block. And when people used to come from that place, they used to spend 1,000 or 2,000 rupees. And actually that's a lot of money for them. They are earning 300, 400 per day. Okay, they are earning 300 and 400 per day, and that's matter a lot for them. And when you are reaching to them and providing such kind of benefit, they are so happy. Now these people are, I'm telling you, they are coming.
Just hold on.
They are coming to block. Okay, once in a year, and that is too difficult. Whenever we went to that place to understand that thing. Before 1 year, we went to that village to understand the critical situation. What are the benefits they are not getting there? Right? They are not getting PDS, they are not getting pension, they are not getting house, they are not getting lighting benefits, water benefits, road benefits. So before 2 years, we went to that place, we analyzed everything, and after that, we provided all the benefits. After 1 year, we again went to that place to see whether that benefits has reached to that people or not. Yes, last time, during last month, we visited that place. I, along with all the staff, we reached there to assess that things.
Mr. Purita, you are a very proactive administrative officer that everybody knows. But since you are becoming very mature democracy, mature establishment, the time has come. Governance establishment must go to the doorstep of people, which they desire for years. You have been 70 years of, you are celebrating 2047, 100 years of our independence. Don't you think so? The government, the establishment should go to the doorstep and provide the services they deserve, they desire.
The purpose of the government is to provide benefit to the people. Okay, governance, when you are talking about the governance, so it's all about good governance. When we are talking about good governance, we think about people, purpose, process and performance. Without these four criteria, we cannot consider good governance in place. So service delivery and effective service delivery and timely service delivery is the main important thing. When you are considering the public service delivery, so what is happening nowadays, officials are taking the things in superficial ways. They are not going into the things. So we need to understand the things in letter and spirit. Things is that when some policy is coming into place or when any scheme is coming into place, we are just trying to implement it in a letter manner. We are not understanding the spirit behind the things. So it is our sole responsibility, it is our sole duty to understand that what the spirit behind the thing and how we can provide more and more benefits to the people.
You must reach out to the last mile of the people.
Yes, we should reach the last mile to the people.
Let us come back to Mr. Mohan Misra. He is a IT stalwart. He ventured a wonderful IT company, where cooperation, right, sir? So, and even he employs over thousands of people. Sir, there is a buzzword AI. That's a huge buzz. Even every university of Odisha I travel, so they have conclave, summit, symposium, and AI. So my question is to you for the August gatherings. So whether AI complement Gen Z, young generation in upskilling them or eating out their jobs. Can you clarify that?
I think this is the most relevant question today going around. I would just like to give you a very small example. We all grew up in the world when this Gen Z term was not there, right? We used to take pleasure from playing cricket, playing different kind of sports, cycling and all that. And our generation probably has seen it all today. Take the example of a football. We all have seen football and we have seen a cycle ball. Cycle ball, right? That gadget. There's a very important gadget, right? I would say today that the realm of automation is like a cycle ball, which is actually automated, what we're talking about. We're talking about the internet, we're talking about e-commerce, the WhatsApps and all that. I think that realm constitutes just like a cycle ball, and the entire world which has to be automated today, that's probably like a football. So my message is that yes, the AI is definitely eating up some of the opportunities that you and I probably are doing. But that entire realm of opportunity just like a cycle ball. And it is creating the opportunities which is probably like a football or a basketball or a cricket ball. There's absolutely nothing to worry. And now coming to the Gen Zs and whether they are going to complement or not, let's understand this. I don't find too many Gen Zs probably. There are a few I can still see. But it's a philosophy. There is absolutely no harm in telling that we all carry that kind of thought process. Now, when we talk about the Gen Zs, right, this is the youth. Now, what is happening today, the technology, the industry is changing so fast. The generations are actually changing within 5-10 years. So probably that's the reason why they're coming up with youths. Then we had Gen Gs, Gen Ys, all those things are coming up. But they're actually representing the youth. And what is the youth is all about? Youth has the josh, isn't it? They have the energy. They can probably do multiple things together. And that's what is the need of the hour. Today, if you see, there was a time when the Newtons, the Galileos, when the Newton's laws of motion, they came, the thermodynamics and all these things came up. And that resulted in an industrial revolution, which we have all seen, we have been a beneficiary to it, right? The aeroplanes, the trains, everything happened. Today, as you speak, the industry, not the industry, the physics itself, the technology which actually, the science which actually gives birth to these technologies is taking a turn. It started with internet. It started with big data. it's now we are seeing AI. Probably tomorrow we are going to see quantum computers. It's already knocking the doors. This is going to change the way we are thinking. This is going to, today, if somebody is going to make a movie, this is a very beautiful example. I want to make a movie. What do I need to do? A producer should be there to spend money. He will find out a director. The director will find out a script. Then there will be actors. Then there will be music director and all these things, right? Now you also know that if you tell that I have a story like this, I want to make a movie like this, and in the movie I want the hero to be Amitabh Bachchan of the 1970s. I want the heroine Katrina Kaif of the 2000. I need this, blah, blah, blah. The movie will be created. The Gen Z will create poetry. The songs will be written. The same system will probably create a music, and you have the movie ready. Now, in that entire process, what we're going to do, the computer is doing everything, but we're putting now human beings in the loop. It has changed in the sense that in the entire gamut of things, we used to put computers in the loop. Now it is just the other way around. So now the realm of areas where the automation was going on and is going to happen, it's expanding thick and fast. We all need to stay tuned to it and keep our ears and eyes open, adapt. There is a threat of losing jobs, but losing jobs to the people who are going to use AI. If we're not going to use AI, if we're going to think this is something has come, it will go, and we will continue to do things the way we were doing, we will be in trouble.
Let's come back to Devkant Patnaik. He is the stalwart of real estate sector in Odisha, Fortune Infra, as you all know. So, Mr. Patnaik, am I audible? Mr. Patnaik, am I audible? Yeah. He built brands that the Fortune Infra talks about. We all know from 20s, 80s, 90s, even 40 years of experience. Sir, my worries for Gen Z brand building. That's a major concern for Gen Z. So do you afraid of, or because you know that they are unafraid, they take a risk. So building brands is a key hour. So how do you address to Gen Z for building brands?
It's about your credibility and trust factor. Okay. Building brands, it's not building skylines. It is the promises, and it is what you have committed that has to be delivered in our sector. And the timely deliver of the projects is the major factor. And nowadays, when RERA has come into force, our trade has been regulated and all ethical practices are now has been followed up. So real estate is a very bright future for Gen Z for the next 10 to 20 years in, I think so, in the Twin Cities, as the growth is going on very fast.
True. Sir, if suppose, what are the biggest opportunity the new entrant, if suppose they want to taste the water of real estate industry, how big it is?
Real estate platform has a very big platform. What you say that in Odisha, infrastructure, what we have seen for last 10 to 15 years, the connectivity and infrastructure has been developed like anything. Okay, that is for say health infrastructure in the state as well as IT sectors. So the growth of real estate is very good for next, what I have told earlier, for 20 to 25 years in the Odisha state.
Sector. Yes, sir. Suppose Odisha has to prove a sustainable model of real estate model. So how do you address that thing? Odisha has to adopt some technology, some advanced technology and reforms, innovation to have a kind of sustainable model for real estate sector that shows the light for rest of the
sustainable model, I should say, though we should only, you should emphasize on building that is eco-friendly and energy efficient building, and it is, what should say, it should be very environment friendly also. That is the sustainability for the future of Odisha in real estate sector.
You mean green building is
Green
one of
buildings,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Green
Wonderful. So let's come back to Amlan Parida. Amlan Parida is a classic example once again for the Gen Z because he's a gentleman. Work the brand like in Dubai and other countries in Infosys, then Accenture, Flipkart, many exposure he has. So when you were asked to talk about Gen Z in this platform forum, so what excites you most about Gen Z in today's time?
First of all, Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.
And thank you so much for having me here and share my experience and my opinion, as you have rightly asked. See, I feel Gen Zs are the most powerful being right now in India. And you all are aware, in our neighboring countries, they are changing governments. So they are. They have that energy. Yeah, it is something to laugh as well. Because they have the energy, they have the talent, and they have the exposure and the opportunities which they should capitalize. And, it is very important to train them, to guide them. When there is a big energy, it is very important for us to guide them right way. That is important, right? See, India is growing. Our state is growing. So it is very important that we are right now the upfront runners, and they are pacing up, and I believe that I cannot cope up with them. None of us here.
You accept the defeat?
Yeah, I accept it. Because they are the next guys who will take over, right? And it is very important for us to guide those energies in the right way, all right? And in every industry, you see, the kind of information, and you guys are leading it, journalism and the media, the kind of information that we are giving them. It is very important that we are giving them the right kind of information, that they are on the right track. Otherwise, you don't know. They are like an atom bomb. They will blast and you cannot control.
They burst.
Yeah. So my view is, we should encourage them. We should educate them. We should make them ambitious. And we should train them how to utilize it, how to execute it. That is more important.
Capitalizing the talent.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time and all that thing. I'm really proud of you. Yeah, so thank you so much, sir.